Hi, welcome along to World Cup Daily, the show that discusses World Cup and Arsenal transfer news. And we've got to start off, first of all, with the games from yesterday. Victories for the host Brazil. They're through to the next round, 2-1 victors over Colombia. And in the other game, Germany prevailing over France, beating them 1-0. We're going to kick off, first of all, with the big one, the Brazil versus Colombia game. Much anticipated clash it was. And first of all, I just got to say it's really sad news about Neymar, the golden boy of Brazil, the golden boy of the tournament, who was injured in that game last night, got a knee in the back, really, really nasty injury. Apparently fractured a vertebrae in his lower back, and he's going to miss the rest of the tournament. And I think it's a real blow for Brazil, massive blow for Brazil, and a massive blow for the tournament as well, because yes, he didn't have the greatest of game yesterday, but he has been lighting up this tournament. He has been carrying Brazil, really, and it was really sad to see him go out yesterday to a really bad injury. And I thought the referee in the game yesterday, he tried to make the game flow as much as possible. It's obvious that the referees in this tournament are under instructions to try and make the games flow, don't give out too many yellow cards. But I thought the referee yesterday was too over lenient in that game. Players were getting away with murder throughout the game, and it just allowed them to make more and more fouls on both sides. Brazil was slowing the game down, making lots of fouls and stopping players like James Rodriguez from playing and Cuadrado. And then on the other side, Colombian side, they were doing the same thing. They were stopping from Neymar from playing in the same way, Oscar, etc. So it was a bit of a scrappy affair. It wasn't the sort of free-flowing game we was expecting, but Brazil coming out on top, deservedly so, I believe, and a 2-1 win, not your vintage samba Brazilian style, but they prevailed. And what a goal by David Luiz. That free kick that he took was the stunning free kick. He hit it with his side foot, and the pace and the way it dipped and everything, it was absolutely brilliant. And his passion after scoring, I mean, he's a centre-half, and the skills that he's got, I mean, I can't imagine Phil Jagielka scoring that goal that we saw from him last night. But fantastic goal from him. Colombia, they kept fighting till the end, but they just could not get over the line, and it's going to be sad. I mean, two top players now are going to be out of the tournament. No more James Rodriguez, no more Neymar, missing two flair players. And also for Brazil, they had Thiago Silva booked last night, so he'll be out of the next game. Stupid booking by him. Although they do have players like Dante who can step in, but it wasn't it wasn't like a free-flowing game, but it was entertaining in the fact that the drama of the game. And Brazil, they're through. And I've been saying it from the start. I just feel that they're going to win this tournament. Even though Neymar's out now, I just think that they've got a will to win. Listen, it's not vintage Brazil. I heard a lot of the pundits yesterday after the game really tearing into Brazil. I had to think, hold on a minute, they did win. Now, I think we have to get it right here. Listen, they've beaten some good teams to get this far. They've beaten a very good Chile. They've beaten an excellent Colombia, I think deservedly so last night. They've turned over Croatia. They've beaten good teams to come here. Played Mexico along the way. So they're going to be a hard nut to crack, Brazil. And I just think that they will go all the way. Hard nut to crack, he says. The other game, Germany versus France, which of course featured lots of Arsenal players. Germany getting through there. Again, it was a tight game, not the sort of free-flowing games we've seen in the tournament so far. Settled again by a set piece. Both games settled by set pieces. This time, Matt Hummels coming up with a very good header. And I was very disappointed in France. I thought that they'd really go out there, really attack the Germans. But it looked like, again, nerves got to them, a bit like what happened to Brazil and Colombia. And they just didn't put in the performance. A lot of players sort of underperformed in that game. Benzema, Pogba, the players that have been really stepping up, Valbuena, they just didn't come to the party yesterday. And the Germans, well, they're the Germans. They're very efficient, and they just took control of the game and deservedly went through to the next round. And that means that in the semi-final, it's going to be Brazil versus Germany. That's going to be an excellent game. As I said now, the fact that Neymar's missing, and Thiago Silva, those are two big misses for Brazil. But listen, they've got a will to win, Brazil, and they'll be looking at it and think, we've just got to get over this No matter how, that's how Scolari plays. No matter how we do it, no matter how scrappy it is, we just got to get to this final. There's no point in going out and playing loads of pretty football and we don't make it. So it's going to be a very, very tight affair, that game, and it's really hard to call who's going to win. But those are the two games last night, and I'm still marvelling over that brilliant free kick by David Luiz. Let's get into the transfer news. It's been reported today that Matthew Debuchy is going to be having a medical at Arsenal next week. Positive news at last on the transfer front. Apparently, after the game last night in France, he told people that he's definitely going to be joining Arsenal. That looks like an absolute nailed-on done deal. Debuchy is going to be the player that's going to come in at right back, not Serge Aurier, as we've thought for a long time. Debuchy, Arsenal preferring the more experienced player, of course, French international. He's had a good World Cup as well, was kept Sanya out of the first team all along the line, and he will be reportedly having a medical next week, having accepted, Newcastle have accepted Arsenal's bid, and the price there is going to be around about £7.9 million, which to me, that is not a bad deal at all for a very experienced player. Premier League experience, international experience, and I think he's going to be a very, very good signing for Arsenal. Pleased with that one. The Alexis Sanchez thing rumbles on and on and on and on. It's reminding me a lot of the Higuain deal last year, of the Suarez deal. But listen, these sort of deals, they're not straightforward. They are going to take time to get done because he's such a major player. Now, we all know that it involves, many different things happening. Of course, Suarez going to Barcelona, which is definitely going to happen. The player himself looks like he's definitely said he does not want to go to Liverpool, and the reports are is that he's just trying to make up his mind now whether he wants to go to either Arsenal or go to Juventus. Those are the two teams that apparently have got the bids on the table. And it's going to be one of those two clubs where Alexis Sanchez ends up, but he's definitely going to be leaving Barcelona. Also, suggestions yesterday that Manchester City are interested. I hope that's not true if they start getting involved in it. But Barcelona definitely want to sell. They want to raise the funds quickly so that they can get in there and get this whole Suarez deal done. So we're going to have to watch this space on that one, but that's hotting up. Also have made another signing as well, Hugo Keto, or Keto should I say, he's a goalkeeper, played for HJK Helsinki. He's from Finland, under 19. He was at the Arsenal Academy for a bit, was playing at Liverpool's Academy. Liverpool were very, very confident of signing him, but he's decided to join Arsenal, signed a 3-year deal, young goalkeeper, so he's going to be one for the future. And another Arsenal target has reportedly told all of his players mates and that he's not going to be playing there at that club next season, which is Morgan Schneiderlin. He's told all the Southampton players and that next season he won't be playing. We should see what's going to happen regarding that maybe this week as well, because again France are out of the World Cup, so we'll find out whether Schneiderlin is going to be coming to Arsenal. It's also been linked with Spurs as well. The price of £20 million, I think, is very excessive for Morgan Schneiderlin. I can't believe. I mean, I know he's a good player of Premier League experience, but I don't know. I'd still prefer Sami Khedira all day long if Arsenal were able to pull that off. There are still reports that Madrid need to raise money in order to go after James Rodriguez and are interested in maybe selling one of a few targets in which Khedira has been mentioned in that. And if I was Arsene Wenger, I'd bite his hand off, Real Madrid's hand off. Just on and again, thinking about the French thing, Antoine Griezmann, to me yesterday, France's best player, Arsene Wenger, go out there and get this guy on the left side of he can play right across, but such a talented player. I'd love to see him at Arsenal as well. And finally, Arsenal interested in a goalkeeper, goes by the name of Kiko Casilla. Plays for Espanyol in La Liga in Spain. He's got a buyout clause apparently of 20 million euros. Arsene Wenger apparently is interested in signing him, bringing him to the Emirates. Of course, that's another area where Arsenal are desperate to sign a player. They need a goalkeeper now that Fabianski is gone, and it's only going to be Wojciech Szczesny there. Needs competition for the first team place. and they're looking at this player, Kiko Casilla. I don't know a lot about him. Apparently, Real Madrid also interested in him as well, so he must be a decent keeper. Had a very good season for Espanyol last season, apparently. And those are the transfer targets for today. Let's just go into a few of your comments. Donkey Puncher 231 says Juventus cannot afford Sanchez. Well, what they're saying is if Juventus maybe looking to sell Arturo Vidal, maybe going to Manchester United again, if he's available, Arsenal, get in there. He's a good player, he is. But if they was to sell Vidal, that would give them the funds to be able to purchase Alexis Sanchez. That is what one of the rumours are saying. I'm not sure how likely that would be. Rowie Boo says, what did you say about Neymar? What I said about Neymar is that he's out of the World Cup. He's injured. He got that knee to the back. Horrible injury yesterday. Possible. I mean, I know it. Well, I don't know. I don't know if that was an accident or there was a bit of deliberate intent in that. But it was a really, really nasty one, and he's definitely out of the rest of the World Cup. Real shame. Neymar out. Lucas says, Robbie, what do you think about Lovren as a backup centre-back? Listen, we haven't really spoke much about centre-backs and haven't been linked to many centre-backs, but we're going to need a centre-back because even if Vermaelen stays, we've only got 3 centre-halves currently at the club, so we are going to need someone. Lovren is a decent player, and it's whether he'd want to come in and play backup. That's the problem. Anybody who's coming in that position would have seen what's happened to Vermaelen last year and known that they're not going to be starting, so maybe Lovren might want to go somewhere where he's going to start week in, week out. Then having said that, he'll be coming to play Champions League football, which will be a big carrot. Shivani Sharma says we should sign Griezmann. He was brilliant yesterday, and Ozil looks less on confidence. I think he means lacking confidence. Ozil, yes, not the greatest game for Ozil yesterday, but he was efficient, just like the rest of the German team. Looked a bit knackered towards the end of the game. But decent performance by Ozil. Griezmann, as I said, I'd love to see him. Very, very good player. Ross James says, that's not positive news. We don't want Debuchy. We want Aurier. I think it is positive. Listen, I wanted Aurier to begin with, but I think Debuchy to Arsenal really does make sense. And I think that will be a really, really good signing for Arsenal. Got no problem with it whatsoever. Mikaloki FIFA says, after signing a right back, what other positions should be filled and who should fill them? We definitely need a centre half. I wouldn't mind Corker in that position. Definitely need a goalkeeper. I've already said that, you know, I'd like to see an experienced Premier League keeper come in there rather than a lot of the keepers from abroad. Or maybe the keeper that you'll see tonight playing for Costa Rica might be good. Ochoa, somebody like that might be a good shout. We need a left-sided player. I'd go Griezmann. Definitely would like to see Sanchez come in. Loic Remy, I think, would be good to come in as well, in the striking position as well. So, few signings still needed by Arsenal, and of course, a very vital, just as vital as a striker, holding midfielder. My preference, as I've said all along, either Javi Martinez or Sami Khedira will be very expensive, both of them, but I think worth it if we want to compete at the highest level. Macaulay, sorry if I pronounce your name wrong, he also says, do you prefer Benzema, Balotelli or Mandzukic? I prefer Benzema, but I can't see Real Madrid selling him. James Johnson says, a Germany versus Argentina final. I don't know, I still fancy Brazil to get there. I fancy it could be a Brazil tournament. Brazil final versus Argentina. Oliver Fabia says, Neymar out, Brazil out. Listen, it's going to be a massive, massive blow. Way O Damon says, sources say Santi Cazorla is leaving. Why would we not buy Fabregas if he has? I don't think Santi Cazorla is going to be going anywhere. Arsenal got him tied into a contract, so I don't think he'll be going anywhere. Daniel Slander, whoops, sorry, I missed Daniel Slander. There's so many comments, as I always say this, so many comments coming in that they just disappear as you off your screen as they keep launching and launching. Let me go to this one. Boss Leakhouse says, imagine the pace in the front line, Di Maria, Sanchez, Walcott, Ozil, and over 30 assists there. That'd be true. You need a striker as well, like someone like Loic Remy in on the end of it as well. I'd get involved. And Oliver Fabia says Cazorla to Atletico Madrid. That's been going around for a while, but it looks like that won't happen. That he will stay. Rowie Boo says, what would you say about Lukaku? It's true, Lukaku. We haven't really said much about Lukaku to Arsenal. Don't think that Chelsea would sell Lukaku to Arsenal because they know he's the sort of player that could come back and haunt them. So I can't see that one happening. Loads more comments. I'll get to reading them when the show's finished. But once again, thanks for watching World Cup Daily. Sad news about Neymar being out of the tournament. Good news about Debuchy, who's going to be signing for Arsenal next week. And just to remind you of the games today, Argentina versus Belgium. I'm going to go for Argentina in that game. I don't think it will be a big win. I think it's going to be a close game, but I think I'll go Argentina 1, Belgium 0. And Costa Rica versus Holland. You've got to go for Holland in this. My heart is saying Costa Rica. My grandmother was born in Costa Rica, so my heart is saying Costa Rica. But you can't really look past Holland with Iron Robin and co. So you've got to go for Holland winning that one. I'm going to go 2-0 to Holland in that one, unfortunately, because I do want Costa Rica to get through. But let's see what happens. You never know with this World Cup. You just never know. Thanks for watching World Cup Daily. We'll be back at this time tomorrow.